www.healthcmi.com, Acupuncture Continuing Education Online. Today, something a little different. Normally in our podcast, we feature breaking research and news in the acupuncture division. Today, from our blog department, the 7 emotions. In Chinese medicine, the traditional Chinese medicine categorization of the 7 emotions is the following: grief, melancholy, fear, fright, anger, joy, and worry. So we're featuring this because what we know through Chinese medicine is that imbalances in emotions can cause internal disease, and we want to talk a little bit about that today to prevent these issues. These are naturally occurring emotions without pathological consequences in many instances. However, abrupt, severe, or chronic occurrences may cause pathophysiological consequences. So if you go to healthcmi.com, instead of the usual clicking on news to see our news articles, click on the blog link on the blue bar at the top. Take a look. What you'll see is a really interesting article on the traditional Chinese medicine view of the different emotions and what they do and how they work. For example, we cover that grief and melancholy injure the lungs, fear and fright injure the kidneys, anger injures the liver, joy injures the heart, worry and pensiveness, including over-concentrated thinking, injures the spleen, and so on. It's really a look at traditional Chinese medicine theory 101, but it's so much fun to review these basics because they're so true. We look at how grief and melancholy consume the energy, consume your qi. Fear causes the qi to rapidly descend. Fright disperses it. Anger causes qi to rise and causes stagnation, kind of like frustration idea. Joy slows the qi, and worry causes qi stagnation. And we get into some more details. We break it down in a 5-element point of view. I think you'll find it very interesting. We also make a comment on dietetics and the different foods affecting the different elements. So I hope you really enjoy this. It's something a little bit different. We break it down. It's a very Chinese medicine view of these things. In other words, we break it down into those elements of wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, the main categories, and then take a look at the emotions through the lens of those categories. So, for example, in the metal element, that is the lungs, right? We say grief and melancholy injure the lungs. And these emotions consume the qi. They also dissolve and diffuse it. Melancholy is defined as pensive sadness. It is a sorrowfulness involving deep and serious thought. And for this reason, this type of sadness overlaps with worry because it involves over-concentrated thinking. As a result, melancholy affects the spleen as well as the lungs. The effects of these emotions on the spleen may cause digestive disturbances, including loss of appetite, loose stools, weight loss, anorexia, epigastric pain, abdominal or epigastric distension, or constipation. From a 5 elements perspective, the sun is sick and therefore drains the mother. That is, metal damages earth. And there's a nice picture there to show you the 5-element wheel, how that works in the mother-son relationship. In the vernacular, melancholy is sometimes called the blues. A disconnected sadness combined with apathy is one form of melancholy. Overindulgence and nostalgia is another form that combines some forms of depression with sadness. Overall, people suffering from melancholy do not have a bright outlook. They are often lugubrious, that is, sad and dismal. Excess melancholy and grief can cause liver qi stagnation, right? So this is kind of that frustration, that stuckness, often resulting in a feeling of a bloated chest. From a 5 elements perspective, metal overacts on wood, and metal may counteract onto the heart. This causes mental disturbances, emotional imbalances, and issues with blood circulation. Each emotional excess has a balancing emotion. So the cure for grief and melancholy is joy. Grief is a form of dwelling on sadness and is related to things that have happened in the past. And a Taoist philosophy focusing on curing grief is to promote peace of mind and really being present. So we go into details. That was, for example, metal element. Then we go into fear and fright in the water element, or anger and frustration in the wood element, joy, and even excess joy can damage the Shen. So a little too much exuberance there can cause madness and a lot of things. We go over the earth element and the worrying and the obsessions, over concentrated thinking. This type of thing is fleshed out in this. So go to healthcmi.com, click on blog, and look for the 7 Emotions article. Hope you have a lot of fun with that. We can all learn a little something and try to keep our peace of mind, keep our internal organs healthy, keep our spirit healthy in these times. Thank you for listening. I'm Adam White, licensed acupuncturist. www.healthcmi.com